Okay, so I laid the blocks out so you can see the secondary pattern starting to form, and you want to make sure when you get it to this level before you sew it together that your corners have different colors in them, just so that the pattern doesn't look like you've matched something up somewhere and not somewhere else. So I kind of check the corners or the places where I'm going to have the blocks meet, and here and then up there and over there and right here, and make sure that I'm happy with my selection of what I've picked. And if the layout looks good, then I can take it to my sewing machine and sew it together. And I do that a little differently. Okay, so I learned this method a long time ago, and I think it's easier to show you with big blocks like this. So there's 3 rows, row 1, row 2, row 3. And I learned this from Quilt in a Day. This is an Eleanor Burns method of doing it. So I take row 1 and I flip it, or row 2 rather, and flip it on top of row 1. And since there's only 9 blocks here, it's easy to do this. And here's the next one. Now, to keep them in order, I have to make sure that this is the bottom row, this is the row in the middle, and then this is the top row. And then what I do is, you can label it, but I'm not going to label it. You can label this as row 1 and 2, this being the first set of rows of blocks that I had up there, the first 2. I put a pin on this side, so when I take it to my sewing machine, these are right sides together, and all I have to do is sew them, and I chain sew them. When this is done, I have that pin together. I'm going to do the same thing here. This is the third one. This is the second one, and you want to make sure that it's the same way. And I'm going to grab this one, and I'm going to stick my pin in. This time I put the pin on this side because what'll happen when they're sewn together, I'll open this one up. This is that first row at the top. I'll chain sew these together, and then I'll chain sew these together, and then the only seam I'll have left will be the cross seam. Now, to continue keeping it straight and together, what I'm going to do is I'm going to layer the rows 1 and 2 on top of this row. Now, you can label it and say rows 1 and 2, and then over here on this pile, you can put on your pin row 3, and you would do the subsequent rows if you had more after that. But usually, like I said, I've been doing this for over 20 years. So when I have it together like that and pinned, I take it this way to my sewing machine. These are the seams I'm going to sew together. I'm going to flip it and sew this seam to the other side. And it'll make more sense when I do that. I'll do that probably on Friday and try to get it so that you can see the whole thing being sewn. But this is how I lay it out.